Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Daily Cannon Tactics Board. Stephen Bradley here, bringing you the tactical tweaks and quirks that came from Arsenal's, run-of-the-mill routine, fairly basic 2-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion in the last game of the season of the Premier League this year. Like I said, your typical 2-0 win, not a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, we'll go through how Arsenal managed to win the game and what Brighton did to allow them to win the game pretty much. But again, last video of this season, obviously we'll still be bringing you content, probably still be 2 videos a week, based on players that Arsenal are linked with and how they'd fit into the side, how I'd like to see Arsenal reshape their squad, considering they won't be playing 75% of the games that they played this season now that there's no European football to worry about. Yay, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, if so, content's not going to dry up over the summer. This you're going to be seeing a lot more of this face. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. But over the summer we're going to be continuing putting content into your inbox on a regular basis. So the tactics board is not going away. And if you, like I said, if you do like these videos, feel free to please leave a like, a comment, or if you want these in your inbox on a regular basis, hit the subscribe button. We're damn close to 500 subscribers now, which is insane. And yeah, like I said, we're going to be continuing bringing you content on for a regular basis. So happy days. And yeah, this game, I mean, watching it, a few things came to mind. Firstly, a crowd, like, it just made the game feel more alive. It didn't feel like you were watching a pre-season friendly, although the fact that there was 10,000 people there and that Brighton had turned up in a rather good facsimile of an Arsenal away kit, considering how teams are wearing their new kits, before the next season even started. This looked like almost like an Adidas friendly in a way. I know Brighton wear Nike, but like it looked like Arsenal's new home kit versus Arsenal's new away kit. Buy them now. Like it was Arsenal in proper red and white, and Brighton in proper yellow and blue. It was quite nice on the eye, and that was maybe the most exciting thing to happen over the first 20 minutes, because I'm a big fan of Graham Potter. I will come out and say that now. I like what he did throughout his career, going from Ostersunds to Swansea and then from Swansea to Brighton. He's improved every team he's been at, and this game was an illustration of what he can do at Brighton and what he has done at Brighton, and how he limits teams to not a lot of shots, or at least not a lot of good value shots, as in terms with XG, and how if he had any sort of striker at all, Brighton might be competing for at least a top half position, never mind 16th. And this game was exactly why, because both teams were very good at limiting each other in the first half to bits and pieces, half chances. We saw Thomas Partey getting in position for a couple of shots here or there. Gabriel hit the crossbar from the remnants of a set piece, but that was about it. Like there was no real big chances. Arsenal had 11 shots in the first half, and they all added up to 0.5 xg, which is nothing. So what happened? Why did this happen? Well, a couple of things. Number one, this was the first time in about a couple of months where Tierney, Xhaka and Partey were all on the same team, and we've almost become used to Tierney being missing and Tierney not being here at all, and Xhaka being here for the purpose of Chambers bombing up, Holding going to the right, Gabriel to the middle, and Xhaka there. And it was going to be interesting to see how Arteta adapted to actually having a left back, because Tierney is great at a number of things. Sitting back is not one of them. Tierney's biggest strength, as we all know, is being here and bombing up and down the wings and getting in those really crisp crosses across the box. So limiting him to being here is an absolute non-starter. So how did he adapt? And it was a little bit interesting, I have to say, because it was very much more along the lines of how you expect a progressive team to develop. It might not be at the speed that maybe a lot of us are hoping for, but you can see them starting to get into patterns of play that are a lot more beneficial to Arsenal scoring a lot more goals in the future, especially at home. Was it 26, 27 goals at home this season? The least Arsenal have scored at home since the 70s. It's been a poor season for attacking football from the Arsenal, but the way they're playing at the moment will allow themselves to creating more opportunities, because obviously Tierney goes here. Gabriel is the left centre-back, so he'll go there. Holding will go there. And Chambers, who can do a job at centre-back and right-back, just basically holds here for the moment. Pepe starts there at right mid like he always does. Odegaard, as we know by now, hovers around this inside right play, for position where he likes to cut in on his left foot, just like Pepe. Smith Rowe knows full well that being here is of no use to anyone because Tierney needs to get in there, so his job is to occupy the inside left. And then Aubameyang sits on the shoulder of whoever's the deepest defender and tries to just push the back line a little bit further back. And it's 3-2-5. Now, this is bog standard coaching. This is nothing special. This is what you're taught to do, level 1 UEFA stuff. Get your players in a position so that you can use the width of the pitch as much as possible, but also have runners going in the channels. Smith Rowe, going in here, going round here, going round here, going through there, giving the defense as many problems as you can. And what Brighton did to block this off basically was, again, nothing complicated. Bissouma, who played excellently, like if this was his audition to play for Arsenal, he passed it. He was superb. But Gross sat in as well, Moder sat there, Bash sat there, Trossard sat there, and McAllister was there. And it was, 4-3-3. So what Arsenal did a lot of the time was basically Xhaka went to Partey and went, look, you get in there. And we, in essence, will play this. Odegaard will go a little further right. Pepe will again try and stretch the field. Aubameyang will go to the left. And Partey's job now is to basically get the ball and pass it on. And it's 3-1-6. Now, again, you might be looking at this maybe for the first time and going, good lord, that's an exceptionally attacking, formation to be playing with the ball. But again, this is nothing new. Like, if Tierney's here, Pepe's here, sometimes even, Partey would drop back and Chambers would go forward. Odegaard would come in a bit further. Pepe would try and get in this inside right. And it'd be Chambers bombing on. Holding would go here. Gabriel would there. And you'd have this 3-1-6. Now, this 3-1-6, with our left back going here and our right back going here, this isn't new either. This is Barcelona from 2009. This is Pep's first Barcelona team. With a midfielder dropping back to create a 3, a centre midfielder, dictating the tempo, 2 full-backs bombing on, your wingers cutting inside, a striker and a number 10. Like, this is, if we want to make it full Barcelona, this is Puyol. There's Puyol. There's Busquets. There's Piqué. That's Xavi. Jordi Alba. Dani Alves. Lionel Messi. Usually Pedro at the time. Andres Iniesta cutting in from the left. And David Villa. Like, that's 2009, 2010, 2011 Barcelona. And look how high they are. Like, they'd be up here with the ball. And that's basically what Arsenal were doing. And Brighton were doing a decent enough job of limiting them to long shots. Partey had a couple. And Arsenal couldn't really find a way through because, again, this is a formation that's been in, the footballing world since 2009. Defensive coaches have come up with a lot of good ways to counterattack it. The first one, of course, being Mourinho, who literally just did this. He was like, I don't care about the attackers. I don't care. I'm just going to put as many people in the middle of the pitch as possible, and I don't care. And this is interesting because when Arsenal had the ball, they had a lot of the ball, like I said, here. Which is weird because they were trying to knock it down the wings going down from there. But they also had a little bit of the ball here because it was going to Odegaard and Pepe a lot. And even when Chambers wasn't bombing on and Pepe was here, Odegaard would find himself here. I'll move these back to where they usually were because, Brighton weren't playing that deep at all. But give me a... I'm going to go... There we go. And Gross was here, Basuma was there, Modem was there. Odegaard was trying to get in here to take Dan Burn away so that Pepe could get in on Lewis Dunk one-on-one, because Moder was, he was doing a good job of getting there, but occasionally Pepe would be free. But they were doing a good job on making sure that Pepe had nowhere to run in. But again, look where Odegaard heat map is. A lot of it's here, but look where he is there. It's one of those situations where Odegaard was acting almost as a decoy half the time, just trying to drag people away so that Pepe would have a free run. And for the first half, it didn't work. But as much trouble as Arsenal had getting through Brighton's defence, a lot has to be said about the fact that Brighton had even more trouble getting through Arsenal's defence. Because for long periods of the first half, when Brighton did get the ball, and they did get the ball a fair bit, 46% possession, they did nothing with it, like nothing at all. But they had a lot of possession. 46% away from home is, not awful. And when they were attacking, Arsenal were more than happy to bring everyone back. Odegaard especially did a great job of getting in and amongst possession and just getting a foot in. To the point where you'd look at him and go, ooh, he could make a really good centre midfielder. Performances like this do remind you a lot of Luka Modric. And Harry Redknapp's maybe two contributing, factors towards football the way it's played is that he turned Gareth Bale from a left back into a right winger and a centre forward. He turned Luka Modric from a number 8 into a number 10. A number 10 into a number 8, And maybe in English football, Martin Odegaard's best position might be in centre mid instead of attacking midfield. Maybe one to look out for the future. But during this game, Arsenal at home to Brighton, when Brighton would have the ball, and look, Brighton would try and do the same thing Arsenal did. No centre forward really, try and get it down the wings. McAllister would drop deep, Yakinbash would try and get in that channel, same way, Smith Rowe tries to get in here, Trossard was trying to get in that channel, same way Pepe's trying to get in here, Gross would split out wide, Moder would basically go wherever he needed to go just to try and make a bit of space, so would McAllister, Ben White, Webster, Dunk, and they'd push up really high too, and then Basuma, covering, and they'd be in there, 4-1-5 themselves, just trying to make space. But Arsenal were just, we don't care. We're gonna pretend you're Manchester City for 5 minutes. So a lot of this game was trying to draw the opposition in so that they could counter, and as a result, the first half was very bitty. There weren't a lot of periods of long possession for both sides. Both sides were willing to counter each other, and as a result, it wasn't the most wonderful game of football to watch. It was end of season fare. Intensity was a little bit down, but not a lot. It just seemed like both teams were waiting for something to happen. And at half time, Arsenal had 11 shots. They were playing okay. Xhaka in the midfield does help the way Arsenal need to build up, because Partey's biggest strength is his ability to get up and down. Xhaka's biggest strength is to sit and hold. And I think the reason why a lot of people, including myself, don't think that Xhaka works in this system is, in a way, why Brighton lost this game. Because Xhaka is a wonderful passer of the ball, a magnificent passer of the ball. But he doesn't have the athleticism or the work rate to cover the ground needed in a top midfield so that Tierney can go here and Chambers can go here. It's not that he doesn't want to. He can't cover all this ground. He's just not quick enough. And what happened at half time wasn't anything that Arsenal did. It was that Arsenal capitalised on Brighton's change of tack, because Graham Potter saw that this formation wasn't working for him. He saw that Brighton weren't making any chances, so he changed it. So he took off Yakinback, who was doing nothing, and brought on Alan Lallana. he took off Trossard, who was doing even less, and he brought on Aaron Connolly. And he changed his formation. He moved Gross out to the right wing. He put Basuma at centre mid. He played Moder almost as a cam. Connolly went to striker. McAllister went to the left. And Lallana went into centre mid. And they, in essence, mirrored Arsenal. They went, right, okay, you're trying to play 4-2-3-1, so will we. And Gabriel Xhaka is a good deep-lying playmaker, but he's an okay defensive midfielder. You know, if you can get past him, you can exploit the space here. You can exploit all of this space because he's not able to cover all this ground and get up the field at the same time, which is what he needs to do when Arsenal are attacking. So, what happens when you play Adam Lallana there? And what happens is that suddenly, with Alexis McAllister not being the most defensive minded, and Pascal Gross doing okay, but he's now on the right. Moder's trying to do his best, and look, Basuma is doing brilliantly, but Basuma has he's trying to do everything. And he played really well, but look how through the middle he is. He's trying to cover all the ground in the middle. He's trying to make sure that Arsenal don't pass through here. But as we know, Arsenal do all their passing out in the wings. And so with Basuma here, this is now Lallana's defensive priority. This is now his responsibility. And just like Xhaka isn't good enough defensively and isn't good enough athletically, if that's a word, if he hasn't got the athleticism to cover all this space, Lallana is worse. His biggest strength is getting from here and back. It's not sitting. He is not someone who can knock the ball around and cover all this space. Look, there aren't many in the world who can, and Xhaka is better than most. But to play this position in the Premier League with how how dynamic and how many transition plays there are, you need to be able to cover this space if you were a midfielder. And Lallana couldn't. And as a result, whenever Arsenal got the ball, they did one thing and one thing only, and it was immediately get it to Pepe. Because now, Dan Burn is a centre-back. Lewis Dunk is a centre-back, Adam Webster is a centre-back, and Ben White is a centre-back. And now, suddenly, it's one-on-one. And Nicola Pepe is getting better. His form is getting better. His stats are decent this year. They could, if Arsenal are to become an elite attacking side, he needs to kick on another level. But if you leave him against one centre-back and then have a second centre-back, and neither of them blessed with the most explosive of bursts of acceleration in their life, he will burn them. And with Lallana not providing enough defensive cover, and Odegaard basically almost shadowing Bissouma out of the way, Aubameyang making sure that there's always a presence here, Smith Rowe and Tierney taking up Gross and Ben White's attention, it's 2-on-1, and if Partey is pushing on forward, it's 2-on-2. And because Lallana was too slow to cover this space again and again and again, when Chambers put in a cross for the first goal, Dunk is too worried about Aubameyang. Byrne is trying to cover. Lallana is trying to get back. He doesn't get there in time. Pepe's in the middle and he scores. And then the second goal, Chambers sticks back. Pepe beats Byrne. Dunk gets over. He beats him too. And it's put in the bottom corner as 2-0. And that's the game. Like, everything that Brighton did in this game in the second half, and again, I'm a huge admirer of Potter, but he tried to win this game. He tried to make attacking subs, but it backfired completely. And as a result, Arsenal were able to take full advantage of it. Would these subs have been made if Brighton were 17th or 18th instead of 16th? I don't know, but it's one of those situations where we've criticised Arteta for doing precisely this, of trying to fix something that wasn't broken and then breaking it. What happened here was Brighton tried to fix something that wasn't broken and broke it, and Arsenal took full advantage. And it's going to be interesting to see what long-term ramifications come for this, because Arsenal have finished the season very strongly. won the last 5 games. Yes, it's not been the most, arduous of fixture lists in the last 5 or 6 games. I know Chelsea away was one of them, but they've played well. The last 2/3 of the season, 24 games, they're second in the league. This team is getting better, and it's now going to be a case of what they can do to add to it. What can they do to bolster this? Because with no European football next season, they don't need as big a squad. You've got an academy team that's full of talented prospects. They're going to need game time. You don't need cover for every position twice, 3 times over. You don't need Chambers and Bellerin and Cedric, especially if you don't sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So, and then what do you do with Joe Willock? Like there's so many questions that need to be answered over the next couple of months. That yes, it's disappointing to finish 8th. Yes, it's always disappointing to finish below Tottenham, but the coast is clear now for Mikel Arteta. Like, if you wanted a season where you had a completely blank slate to work off and a complete reset, next season is perfect. And if they don't get Champions League football next season, with no European football to worry about, with a whole week to prepare for every opponent that you're getting, then it's not a case of he should be fired, but he has to be fired. But does he deserve a second chance at fixing this, considering that over the last 24 games they're second in the league? Yes. Should he be criticised for the fact that despite that run of form they ended up finishing 8th because the first 14 games were so god-awful? Yes. Where you fit on, where everyone else sits on that fence, I don't know, but we're very much reached a crossroads now where it's right, okay, you kind of, stabled the ship. You've kind of you've righted the ship a bit. They're playing better, but everyone knows Arsenal need to improve to catch the gap, because Chelsea are better than them, Liverpool are better than them, City are better than them, and United are better than them, and they have to beat at least one of them next season and Tottenham to get into the top 4. That's the target. So can they? Yes. Will they? We'll wait and see. But yeah, that was the final game of Arsenal's season. If you did like this video, please leave a like or leave a comment into what you saw. And yeah, if you want these videos coming into your inbox on a regular basis, we will be providing content over the summer. Then please subscribe. Any little help like that always helps. And yeah, next video, today's Monday. Next video will probably be Thursday or Friday, when I'll go over the squad we have now, where I think they fit in and who I would get rid of, and maybe throw in 1 or 2 names of who I think Arsenal should be looking to sign over the summer. And yeah, if any news breaks about a new signing or a prospective new signing, I'll put together a video of where he might fit in and where Arsenal might play him. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that, and hopefully you'll tune in for future videos over the summer. We will talk to you next time, viewer. Good luck.